Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on top left side as the blue English, we have DivineDFP. Spawn on the right side as the red French, we have the TheMrMunch. Let's see, English versus French, time old enemies. Of course, the English will have access to longbowmen in the feudal age and dark age man-at-arms. The French will have access to the Royal Knight in feudal age as well. Royal Knights, of course, a very powerful unit, an actual unit to send by themselves to raid villagers. Of course, an easy counter is the Spearmen. Longbowmen have inherently higher damage as well as range. They'll really punch through the armor, so they can still be useful, as well as man-at-arms could be useful as opponents start pulling out bowmen in order to, or archers, in order to close them on in while standing quite a bit of abuse. When it comes to economic upgrades, the French do not get any economic benefits, major ones, until they get castle age and blow out castle to get the reduced cost of units around the castle, which is at 25% and can be upgraded to 30%. They do also get free blacksmith melee upgrades, so that could be very useful in order when he advances up to the next age. It'll help improve his power of his basic units. Though against with Royal Knights, you don't really need it, so it's okay upgrade, free benefit, but it's nothing actually too significant in my opinion. Something a bit more effective for your man-arms, as well as spearmen against non-cavalry targets, since they already have really high damage, though I still need to do the exact math breakdown of those sort of matchups. School of Cavalry is going on. The School of Cavalry is going up, got the Council Hall as well. Looks like all the sheep has been bopped there. Sheep have not been bopped here. And now we do have feudal age. He is going to go get an early Royal Knight, not early Knight. Same difference at mostly. Sorry that something's stuck in my throat. Maybe get a bit of fluid into me to help clear my throat. Of course, he doesn't have barracks out yet, and he knows against the French the chance of him, he needs some spearmen, but the English can't deploy spearmen in the Dark Age. They can only get man-at-arms in the Dark Age. It's one thing that's a little bit backwards in English. As a game, we do got quite a bit of stone collected there. He's probably eyeing for the second town center somewhere. He's also immediately going for some wood here. The Royal Knight's now trying to charge forward. He does not have a... He needs to keep that scout right there. The scout could actually draw the charge attack from the Royal Knight. Can use the scout to block the attack. The Royal Knight does see a bit of town center arrows there. Accuracy. I know the town center gets an extra arrow for the English, but does it get extra range? Does not get extra range. It does get an extra arrow, which will be useful, and this primary arrow will punch through the armor a little bit better. It does have 8 damage rather than the base 6 damage. Now I got this town center being pulled on field. Wait, that mining bit. He deleted his mine? I didn't see the carcass there. He may have deleted his own mine right there. Royal Knight's now charge on forward. He is trying to mass build villagers. Does get a good volley of arrows there from the villagers. Remember the arrows, English arrows, villagers can use fire arrows. The damage is not that great. 5 damage and 5 tower range, and the rate of fire is really poor. This actually is some good economic damage onto the English economy as well, since these villagers are trying to build this and being delayed. Does get a good volley of arrows there. It fires a couple more arrows down to 4 health. He may just want to fall that back so he can get out. The scout there does see the charge attack there, and now got some more arrows firing upon it. Both these Royal Knights are severely wounded. He did some significant economic damage. It's hard to estimate, but that's a lot of downtime on 10 villagers, 16 villagers. We have another archer range going up, as well as a blacksmith. But that was a significant amount of economic damage. Right now, the French is slightly ahead in villager count. We do also have the mill here. The mill is one of the most powerful economic advantages. The English mill is one of the most powerful economic advantages in the entire game, gaining some significant food collection and some nice and safe at home. It really makes it so the English don't really have to venture out on the map too much for other food sources. Berries are hardly ever touched. Here are touched quite a bit because they do have a good collection rate. We do have the French now claim for the deer as well, so he will keep pace with the food collection here. Oh yeah, I've been needing to do this. People have been saying I need to keep this up in the beginning. I keep forgetting. Was that a house? He deleted one of his own houses there? Maybe just canceled it. I'm not really sure. Do you have another mill going up? The English player is really eyeing just a boom inside his walls. He doesn't want to deal with the French Royal Knights. This scout's quite battered and bruised. There's 3 Royal Knights on the field. These 2 are severely wounded. He's keeping them back home so he can get eventually chivalry upgraded and get some good health regen. This is the other Royal Knights on the field. We'll keep an eye on it. And looks like the English player is not eyeing for any aggression. He may be eyeing for Castle Age. He has 2 town centers, so he may go for the White Tower rather than the King's Palace. And they've got a 3rd town center being pulled by the French, trying to claim up some more forest puppers. Royal Knight charging forward, does get a handful of arrows onto the Royal Knight. You can use Blacksmith for arrow upgrades to help improve the town center defensive arrows. Now we got this house being built as well. Those deer do get scattered a little bit. And he sent more villagers onto the sheep. He still has a good number of sheep there. It's hard for him to gauge how much food there is. We got the town bell ding-donging. And he does go for the White Tower. So he's eyeing for a powerful defense. The Blue Scout here will spot the Royal Knight. With Fast Castle, he will go ahead and probably eye for some crossbows from the Council Hall to deal with the Royal Knights. And the White Tower will provide some excellent defense. And there's also going to be a lot of storage space here. The White Tower has, I think, an increase of 20 garrison spots. It could be still 15. But this will provide a lot of garrison space. It does have 20. This will provide a lot of garrison space for villagers that need to cower inside. Up to 45. So he perhaps can keep 45 villagers nearby and farms to garrison in. He's collecting up a lot of stone here. He may be eyeing for another town center. He may be eyeing for a keep. English keeps, including the White Tower, does act as like a construction for all units on the inside. Got a line of walls going up there. And he is eyeing for additional town center. White Towers, no, that's just the town center just firing away with its primary arrows. The Royal Institute now going on up. Right now there's a slight, actually a decent villager advantage for the English. We got a good number of crossbows forward in the field. Basically a defensive force. Red has deployed out outposts here to help keep an eye on this very large stone deposit. It's actually 2 stone deposits pretty close to each other right here. Well, the French are all spread out, but both sides deployed out, or is deploying a line of palisade walls. Maybe it's not a good time to go for chivalry. Chivalry does cost like 250 gold and like 100 wood, was it? And that would pay for itself by getting those 2 wounded Royal Knights all the way up the back of the max. Looks like it does have it actually researched. They're getting some health regen. They just don't see the green plus sign. We do now the veteran Royal Knight, Royal Bloodlines. The English, he's going to need a large number of spearmen against these Royal Knights. most people, it's a safe assumption his opponent goes for the Royal Institute. Most people, French players, do not go for the Guildhall. The Guildhall is actually, I believe, a very underrated landmark. Because you can combine the Red Palace in order to get massive benefit from getting a large wave of keeps out, since you can just generate so much stone from that. It's time for a Palisade Gate there. Does have decent defense of crossbows here. That's all 10 of his crossbows and his scout. That's his entire military force. We have more farms going up. He may want to pull out a mill over here just simply to get those berries out of the way. He has consumed all those sheep. And he has to go, may want to start building out a line of palisade walls just around the stone deposit or wood deposit just in case. And both sides just ecoing up. We got 15 military units versus 13. He's going for a line of spearmen. The Arbaletiers, while they're anti-heavy specialists, with their Gamberson's research, does take out village, does not have textiles. That's a bit of an oversight on his part. With Gamberson's give Arbaletiers +5 melee armor, they become very decent versus spearmen because simply spearmen just don't pack a punch against infantry units, and with +5 melee armor, they can get up to like an absurd 8 melee armor in total. The Arbaletiers have base, yeah, they do have base, so they get up to 9 armor, melee armor, and spearmen, I think they're like max damage is like 12, so they only do like 4 damage to Arbaletiers. And so they will be out DPS by, spearmen will be out DPS by Arbaletiers. Got another line of palisade walls going up. He needs to secure up, and not only these 2 wood deposits overall, and so is this wood deposit. It has to slowly go down. His opponent, the French can apply archers, engage our crossbows. But right now, the Royal Knight's maximum health is 310, an absurd amount. Got some priests being pulled on out, or monks, I should say. And red is eyeing for a large number of relics. And we do have the sacred sites being captured on up as well. Red has claimed up 3 relics. But he does have this relic sort of camped. He could grab it. You can always grab it, queue it, put it next to an area you think you may want to build a monastery. That's what I usually do. I usually build one when I play Mongols. I only play Mongols. I build a prayer tent, queue up the monk to pick up the relics, and then queue him up to pick up the 4th relic and simply stand next to the prayer tent. If I get the 4th relic, that's great. I never plan to get all 5 relics. I'm usually just planning to get at least 2. That's usually my goal. Because tithe barns to get extra stone is very handy. Got a good number of Arbaletiers, archers, crossbows, and Royal Knights Fates board. Arbaletiers do not have the Gamberson's research. I'm not sure if that's Imperial Age or Castle Age tech. It is Castle Age tech. We got a good number of spearmen and man-at-arms being put on the field. Man-at-arms not going to be good against the French. The chance of them blowing out Arbaletiers in large numbers is highly likely. And there's 19 as well. Sure, they can get a little extra armor, but the Arbaletiers can really punch the armor. Not to mention, with the Gambersons, give you a quick reminder, they can get up to 8 melee armor in this age. Man-at-arms can get up to 14 attack. Man-at-arms would do 6 damage per hit against Arbaletiers with Gambersons. We do got a good line of stone walls going up, very nice. You may be able to secure Boar with that as well. 6 sites being decaptured. This monk has been misrallied. And I think as well, something I always wish people use is stone walls as defensive spot. Because stone walls give your units +2 range, incredibly useful. That's gonna kill there onto that scout. Now we've got the Royal Knights fades forward. Crossbows do good damage versus Royal Knights, but there's still line formations there, so they can be a little bit tight up there. Spearmen still firing away. Crossbows focus on the man-at-arms. Some of these crossbows are being focused down. More man-at-arms being pulled on the field. He's getting armor clad as well. Against all these Arbiteers and Royal Knights, it's probably better just go for Spearmen rather than the Man-at-Arms. Arbiteers do 22 damage versus heavy. They use passive there as well, which also increases the Pierce armor by, is it 4 or 5? By 5, so they can get in total 5/5 armor, as well as shoot up to 6 range. Granted, they have to be stationary for that total. But these Arbiteers, let's assume he gets +1 damage upgrade. That will put him up to 23 damage. And 23 damage versus potentially up to 6 damage per hit in return. 80 health is much lower. Man-at-Arms do have good amount of health. It's so they're probably actually equal with basic head math. Still not a good idea to use Man-at-Arms in my opinion in this situation. He has the White Tower, he can pull out some Mangonels from it. Mangonels are expensive, but they're one of the best items against the mass archer you tend to see a lot of people go for. We do know how this outpost has been plotted on field, so he has a good fortified outpost with a spring gold to fight the network of castles. Red is also eyeing to steal the stone. Blue can garrison the walls to shoot at them. We do have a keep here for red as well. No infrastructure around it, so he doesn't get the reduction in cost. He does pull a keep over here. This is probably where his primary building base is. Now I do have the Berkshire Castle being put on the field in a very aggressive in central position. I do like this. It's also allowing the Berkshire Castle to siege down this keep itself. He can garrison some units inside to get some extra arrows, help him gauge down that keep. The Berkshire Castle is like staggering like 15 range, or is it, yeah, 15 range. Berkshire Castle's being deployed on the field. He does have a decent defense force here. Right now, blue has and red have a similar sized army, but overall, red has a higher quality army. Berkshire Castle's halfway complete. Villagers have ran away. Villagers may have seen some fire now. Villagers not being retasked over here. Man-at-Arms getting the horsemen. That's more of a fight that's better for the Man-at-Arms. Horsemen, the counts are the same, and it's more of a. And the Man-at-Arms shouldn't win that fight. But now the villagers being focused down. There's only a handful of villagers remaining. Still good number of Arbiteers as well as a handful of archers here. These crossbows that don't have any good matchup in this moment. All those villagers have gone down. He's bringing out more villagers to complete it. If the Berkshire Castle gets completed, he will help win this fight. He has a larger force on the field. And now these Arbiteers are getting overran. He has recent garrisons have 7 melee armor. So the Spearmen right now are currently doing 3 damage per poke. Yep, that's how bad Spearmen are versus Arbiteers. At this point in time, Arbiteers, if they are... I feel like Arbiteers, that armor research is a little bit on the bit of an overpowered side. That's just my opinion. Because that makes Arbiteers hard to hit with light units, as well as when they specialize getting hit with heavy. The only real thing you have to counter it is siege. Mangonels, primarily. One way to balance that is, upon research that they get reclassified from light to heavy. Now we've got Imperial Age, Berkshire Castles hitting these villagers over here. Most of that stone has already been claimed, though. These villagers can, of course, drop off that stone they have in their bags and go to that gold mine. But most of that stone has been claimed up by red. There's no really other stone deposits on the map other than the southern stone deposits here. So this one could be claimed by red. This one's contestable. Red is going to be claiming that one. This one basically is now red's. There's an outpost trying to be established inside this wall. A perfect spot for it, honestly. Though it's not Total Warhammer, no Skaven allowed. Horsemen now eyeing for a bit of a flank. They do, of course, again, approved by the royal bloodlines.
What needest thou of me?
This villager may go down.
Building to put up.
Nope, she will continue building those walls. We got a couple outposts here. These villagers being retasked on this gold mine. Of course, these horsemen needs to be responded to. Doesn't really have any assets to engage sportsman. He is getting some hand cannoneers, very nice. Do you have the incentives not being researched? He does not. Oh, look at that gold float. He needs a probably a good idea. Usually when I tend to float a lot of gold, but tend to play Mongols of trade, you're gonna see people not want to go for it. You may want to take that gold, buy the food in order to get to the next age. I actually do that all the time with Mongols, but I tend to go for trade rather than mining. I actually tend to go for both. I get the step bird out for the extra gold drop off, and then I take that, I get that along with the trade, and then buy usually the food I need to age up. If I tend to float a bit of extra gold, it all depends how successful my trade is. While it's a little bit stupid how the Mongols get 2 gold-based landmarks, it's at least a good idea to have the separate out, or just in case you fail at trading. Or it's a map that you can't get traded. So now the red palace being plotted over here. Veterans are pushing this forward. There's only a handful of villagers here. It will take a bit of time for the red palace to be built. He has canceled the red palace and is going to put it over here. This is a good spot to secure this wood deposit. It's a little bit off to the side, but it could be a good base of control for him to start producing units from. So it's not advancing forward. He has a very large number of villagers on this red palace. He has a good number of horsemen here, as well as arbaletiers. And there's the red palace. Let's get inside. Now everything in this area will die. Red palace does 62 damage per arbalist, and it will annihilate even these battering rams. Its attack speed is far too high at 1.5 per second. The red palace may want to focus down these battering rams right now. Because right now, that's supposed to hitting the red palace a little bit too much. And there, look at that. The red palace is annihilating these battering rams. So it didn't hit the other ones. We do have these horsemen advancing forward. Does have levy of spearmen here, getting some good damage onto them. We'll find some more of these farms. He does have the enclosures there, so the English player will have good gold collection throughout the entire game. Still need to get some gold miners out. It's a good supplemental income. Nothing to replace actual gold miners or traders. More red batteries push way forward. Spearmen clean up this horseman. We have the lightweight beams not being researched by red, which allow them to pull batteries to attack faster, as well as field construction being much quicker. And blows on the capture the sacred site. It increases the reduced field construction time by 50%. The Mongols can get it improved up to 75%. Really fun. If you're spies with that with the 75% research, you can actually slip a couple men-at-arms in the back line, and they can start destroying everything from behind. So by the raid bounty, you get a nice tithe of resources. Your child castle gets good damage on in. Arbaletiers are falling back. There's still a number of these batteries that are in the way. Down here, do you have the sacred site being tested by blue? And these batteries are on cleat through red's base here. He does have 3. The second town center does go down. There's a monastery that could go down. Could get tithe barn to get extra resources. And now I've got these man-at-arms engaging these battering rams. I still don't think man-at-arms are a good idea, but overall, based on the enclosures, research for farms, as well as the improved farm bonus, they're actually very they're a good item for the English to deploy out, but against arbaletiers, not so much. We're gonna have these battering rams cleaving through this lumber camps there. Going for a university there. That university went down. Yeah, this keep now being repaired on up. Berkshire Castle's range is still here, so anything that advances into this arc is going to be receiving massive fire. got some more longbowmen being pulled on the field. They are elite longbowmen. It does have the volley arrow fire. Arrow volley. I just want to say volley fire because it's the rear echelon research or ability. We have now the keep receiving bit of fire there. Now it's been being repaired up. We got the volley fire there. It lasts for 6 seconds. And now the keep receiving quite a bit of damage there. Sacred Sight, victory potential for blue. It's also given good tide of gold. And with the cloak there, that may provide enough gold for the entire game. He has good food and gold reserve for more man-at-arms research. He is getting some more spearmen put out on the field. Overall, the man-at-arms are superior to horsemen in one-on-one combat. It's just its arbaletiers are causing some big issues. The longbowmen right now do have a range of 7. Even with the arbalest passive, they will only have a range of 6, though they will take a lot less damage for the higher pierce armor, the 9 pierce armor, so the longbowman damage will be greatly reduced. He doesn't have incendiary arrows just yet. We have now some French cannon to put on the field. Does throw some rounds in that batting ram, very nice. I'm not sure what. Oh yeah, he went for the Red Palace, not for the artillery, Royal Artillery Institute, whatever it's called. Do now elite army tactics being researched by the English. That will help his man-at-arms now to deal damage, will also increase the max health. French cannon now firing away. Now they're gonna get overran. Horsemen moving in step. Got no spear braces there. And now got the incendiary arrows there as well, greatly improving the damage of these longbowmen. He needs some more armor research, getting more melee armor. Pierce armor wouldn't hurt, and half damage. Up here, we do have, looks like these villagers getting hit by this keep right there. Denying that gold income for the time being. Berkshire Castle receiving some fire there. Of course, these French cannons can receive fire from the Berkshire Castle, and its rate of fire is decent. The Garrison Castle gets more damage onto it. We've got the hand cannons trying to deal with them. They do have 35 pierce damage. Cannons only have 30 pierce armor, so it will do more than 1 damage each. This French cannon has 1 health remaining and will escape on out of there. The outpost is still trying to be built. French cannon does get a good volley down the Berkshire Castle. It is getting repaired up. He only takes wood to repair up the Berkshire Castle. He could be upgraded to Spring Bolt as well to improve it, because it will also have 15 range. The Berkshire Castle is about to go down. There's 5 French cannon on the field. I don't think I've ever seen that many French cannon at one point in time. Now the Berkshire Castle has been destroyed. So got the Arb. We do not have the what's it called, lightweight beam, so no. The construction material research onto the siege weapons to increase the pierce armor, so these arbalest replacements will still do some significant damage. You need to get that research and fight against the Red Palace. They increase their pierce armor up to 60, so it can shrug out most of the damage from the Red Palace. Not all of it though. It'll still like do 2 damage or 3 damage per arbalest. More Royal Knights not being deployed on the field. Nobody appears to have deployed on trade just yet. French cannon making their advance. There's 6 of them on the field. They're expensive. They are 900 each. And a lot of gold as well. These villagers are getting hit a little bit. The French may have deployed up too many villagers at the moment. He has 149 versus 120, so there's going to be a larger English force in the field. The Stone Gate will receive some arrow fire. Now deploying out some more infrastructure over here. That outpost does go down. French cannons starting to fire away. And these Arbaletiers, Got the arrow volley fire there. Looks like a little bit overkill on some of those Arbaletiers. They didn't activate their Pierce armor, but right now the Longbowmen are hitting for 14 each. It will make a difference, but not enough of a difference. And Canadians moving forward. They gain some good damage as well. He doesn't have chemistry research, but they still do good damage nonetheless. Longbowmen now getting hit by cannon fire. Outpost does go down. And the Berkshire Castle gets re-destroyed once again. I don't think it was fully rebuilt. French cannon has same damage there, good damage there, but doesn't appear that they do great AoE damage. We got now a volley fire raining on in. More Springballs trying to engage these French cannon. The French cannon only have 11 or 10 range. Springballs right now do have, yeah, it's got the research there, so they do 12 range. Another French cannon goes down. Those expensive snipes. They do have 190 health. They should withstand 2 of the Springball shots. Springballs also firing away, gain some okay damage against these ground units. They're like hand cannoneers, they love to shoot everything, but the problem is they're just not cost effective to shoot everything. French cannon does pick off one of the Arbaletiers there. More Longbowmen here, deploying more Horsemen, they're a good counter. Royal Knights also a decent counter because they're just heavy. And his opponent has not put any crossbows recently, so Royal Knights are a good option. He's just lacking, actually, he's running low on food. He's going for more Horsemen. He wants to make sure he doesn't spend a whole lot of gold. Red has made a breach up here. Now he's trying to clean up this gold. Got some battery rams here as well that can clean up these outposts. I think blue, he does have, wait, second side victory, 3 minutes, 12 seconds. He needs to stand one up these battery rams immediately up to the sacred side. The monk won't be able to stop him. He won't be able to decap the sacred side, but will pause, potentially permanently in that sort of situation, onto the sacred side countdown. You don't have to decap her, just have to pause it. If never, either way, it will not hit 0 in that case. Berkshire Castle's getting repaired on up. He can throw the village to the inside to get some more arrows firing. Red's army is starting to get disintegrated. And now these villagers are on the second side there. Blue's villagers are starting to fire away. Yep, he still gets that one up there. Red's villagers are starting to shank Blue's villagers as well. Yes. Blue's villagers are on top of the second side there. As long as Red's on top of the second side, the countdown is paused. These villagers now getting ripped apart by these elite man-at-arms, but we still have the Arbalest in placement here. It will take out those man-at-arms, get enough time. And relatively quickly, I should add. You have more cannon placements there, cannons hitting the Berkshire Castle. It's down to 2 cannons. Second side victory is still paused. Berkshire Castle seeing massive fire. He doesn't have any villagers up here anymore. He's lost a good number of villagers. The French has lost a good number of villagers. He does clean up all those man-at-arms. He has not decaptured the sacred site there. The village can go up and shank that monk. Send one to shank the monk. Have the other ones hold ground stance on the sacred site. Blue's villagers are starting to get ripped apart here. Veterans are making their advance. And falling back on these man-at-arms, so trying to hack apart this region. The French are doing a good steamroll. English players down a lot of large number of resources. The French actually has all 5 relics. I just realized that. He doesn't have Type on there, and Blue does back of the game now. It's Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.